Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In this video I am going to discuss two types of research, that is quantitative and qualitative. Basically these are the two types of research designs, though we have one other as well, that is mixed method, using both of these in one research, and that is mixed method. And these two are more commonly used, right? So we will discuss and differentiate between these two research designs, qualitative and quantitative. We will compare both of them on the basis of these parameters, and we will try to differentiate between them. So let's begin. The first parameter is about nature. The nature of quantitative research is objective, right? Objective approach is there, and to seek precise measurements in numerical form. As the name indicates, quantitative, so there is numerical data in numerical form, whereas in qualitative, the subjective approach and seek in-depth description in narrative form. So I think you know about subjective and objective. So objectivity, impartiality and no personal opinions, whereas in subjective you have your personal opinions as well. And further, the knowledge of study of variables. So in quantitative, the variables are clearly defined, clearly understood in advance by researcher, whereas in qualitative, researcher may have only rough idea about the variables and aims. As far as aim is concerned, quantitative research, its aim is to identify and count the variables, to test and define the theories and hypotheses, whereas in qualitative, to collect complete detailed description of variables, to develop theories and assumption. As far as research problem is concerned, in quantitative research, the problem is deductively reasoned. As I've already discussed in separate video, how deductive reasoning is used in quantitative research and how inductive reasoning is used in qualitative research. So the problem is deductively reasoned in quantitative, which does not changes over the course of study, whereas in qualitative, inductive reasoning is used, right? And further we will discuss different parameters. Planning. As far as planning is concerned, quantitative research, all aspects of a study are carefully designed before the data is collected, whereas in qualitative, the design emerges as the study unfolds. And research design is concerned, different types of research design, further categories in quantitative and qualitative as well. So in quantitative, the further designs include experimental, quasi-experimental, pre-experimental and non-experimental, whereas in qualitative design, the further subcategories include phenomenology, ground theory, ethnography, case study and historical research. As far as samples are concerned, in quantitative, we have large samples and random method of sampling is used, whereas in qualitative, in-depth studies and small samples, right, are there. And further, as far as data is concerned, in quantitative, as the name indicates, data in numerical form, easier to collect, facilitate testing of hypotheses, right? Whereas in qualitative, the data is richer, time consuming and less generalizable. As far as the method is concerned, in quantitative, researcher remain objective, right, objectively separated from subjective matters, whereas in qualitative, the researcher tend to become subjective. And analysis of data, analysis of numerical data through descriptive, inferential and statistics in quantitative, whereas in qualitative, analysis of data as words, pictures, description, coding, narrative, diagrams, right, etc. So further we will discuss the differences. Let's wait for a while. It's around somewhere. Further differences include uh, wait, right? So differences between qualitative and quantitative. Let's discuss it in very detailed manner. Difference between, yes, here it is. So further differences between qualitative and quantitative research. So qualitative research, it use descriptions and observations, whereas quantitative use statistics, right? Qualitative data can be observed and not measured, whereas in quantitative data can be measured accurately, numerical data. And quantitative considered to be subjective, whereas qualitative is considered subjective, whereas quantitative is objective. And qualitative, it helps to understand underlying reasons, opinions and motivation, whereas quantitative, it uncovers measurable data to formulate theories and patterns. And qualitative uses either hypothesis or research question, whereas quantitative use mostly use hypothesis. Data collection methods are semi-structured or unstructured in qualitative, whereas in quantitative, data collecting methods are highly structured, right? The second row, this one is the quantitative, bear in mind. And then further include quantitative, the sample population as small samples in qualitative and large samples in quantitative. And research methodology is exploratory in qualitative, whereas research methodology is conclusive in quantitative. The analysis is used to understand why a certain phenomena occurs, whereas quantitative, the analysis is concerned with how many or how much a certain phenomena occurs. And in qualitative, data are reported in the language of information, whereas in quantitative, data are reported through statistical analysis. And the purpose of qualitative is to understand and interpret social interactions, whereas quantitative, its purpose is to test hypotheses, check the causes and effect. So data is non-numeric in qualitative, where data is numerical form in quantitative. And further differences include, in qualitative, its reporting outcome is not projectable to tall target audience, whereas quantitative, its reporting outcome is representative to target audience. And the reports are directional in qualitative, whereas the report is graphical in quantitative. And further differences include, uh, yes, in qualitative, the study design is subject to statistical assumption and conditions, whereas in quantitative, the study design is iterative. Research questions adjust according to what is learned. So this is about the differences between quantitative and qualitative research designs. So in the next video we will discuss other major concepts in research methodology. Thank you for watching.